Uh-oh. I might get in trouble with this video, and you might get in trouble with this video. Why not get in trouble together? Watch to the end. Hey. Welcome back to another Tech Support Spy video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. Are you ready to get into some trouble? Yeah, we're about to get into some trouble with this video. And we're going to get in trouble with our employer. Now, raise your hand if you are someone that uses Microsoft Teams at your employer. And I use it. Use it every day. And yes, with Microsoft Teams, it shows us that we are available or we are away or do not disturb. Has multiple features within Microsoft Teams that kind of lets other people know within your company if you're there or not. Now, don't you hate that when you're working from home and you need to step away, you step away, and if you're gone for a period of time, Microsoft Teams turns yellow as if you are appearing away, and it lets others think that you're no longer there. You're not working. It may show you there in the upper left corner or whatever of Microsoft Teams. It shows that you appear away, and it also shows how long you've been away. Don't you hate that? And you know you're working. You just need to step away for a second to kind of just take care of some things at home while you still have the mentality of working. Don't you hate that? Now, some of us may need to step away. We may need to step away to to relieve ourselves, right? Some of us need longer time for bowel movements, like longer times for bowel movements. And then some of us may need to feed our dog Herminator. Herminator is hungry. He needs some food. We want to make sure Herminator is happy and, he's getting fed so that Herminator does not turn into the Terminator and eat us. So we want to make sure certain things that we do at home while we're working, right? Sometimes our home duties can be taken care of because we're at home at the same time that we're working and we're multitasking. And sometimes you want to at least let someone know that's watching Microsoft Teams that even though we might peer away, we're still working. We just need to step away to handle some home business, right? But we're still working. We still have our mindset that we have to finish something. We have a deadline, whatever it may be. You want to make sure that we don't make others think that we are away and that we're not working. Well, what if I told you you can keep Microsoft Teams in the green as available all the time? You want to know how? Watch this video to the end. Laugh, learn, and enjoy the video. And let's dive into the video, shall we? All right, compadres, we're going to talk about a program called TinyTask. A program that's used for PC. It's a program that will record what you do on your PC, right? And then you can repeat it and have it repeat that step. And one of the things with Microsoft Teams is able to track that you're doing something on the computer when it realizes that you're typing up an email or you are typing up a Word document, or you might be using a company software program to do your job. Long if the PC registers clicks and registers your mouse moving, it detects that you are at your computer working, and it keeps you in the green in Microsoft Teams. All right, so let's take a look at TinyTask, and you will need a USB. You're gonna have to download TinyTask to USB. All right, so what you want to do is, and the link is going to be in the description, but you can go to tinytask.net. That's tinytask.net. And once you get to the website, it's going to basically tell you what the program is. Again, it's a mini PC automation app or program that you can use to record and repeat your actions. So you want to download that version, right? As you go to the website, tinytask.net, you want to download TinyTask to USB. You want to make sure that you have a USB that you can download the TinyTask application to your USB. And you don't want to do this on your work computer. Do this on your personal computer at home so that you download the TinyTask application to USB, and then you'll take that USB to work and run the TinyTask application there to get it to keep you as available. But let's go back to downloading TinyTask. So when you are on that site, go to download. You can download it here, but just go to download at the top here. And then it's an executable. EXE stands for executable for Windows. You want to download the latest version, so hit download. And it's going to download the TinyTask EXE file. And instead of hitting open file, because if you open file, it's going to open that executable file and start to run. You can start using it. You don't want to do that. You want to copy the executable file to your USB. So I'm on Windows 11 and I'm using Microsoft Edge. So go to the far right here where it says show in folder, and it shows like a little folder. Click on that and Internet Explorer opens up. And you want to take this tiny task. I've downloaded it multiple times to make sure I got the steps right. But you can take this one here or this one here. I'm going to take the last one that I just downloaded. And what I'm going to do is right click on it. And I'm going to hit cut. This is Windows 11. I'm going to hit cut. And then on the left, or the left side, I'm going to go to my transfer drive or my USB drive, my E drive or D drive. And I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to just find an empty area in File Explorer here and just right click and click on paste. And you see it pastes the TinyTask1 executable file for me to run when I'm ready to run it and start using it. So at that point, TinyTask is on my USB. And when I get to work, I'm going to pull out the TinyTask. I'm going to plug it into my work computer, assuming that our employer does not have any certain software that monitors our computers that can detect if you're adding hard drives or USB drives to it that might be harmful to the computer. Assuming they don't have that type of software, using the USB that has a TinyTask on it will work. All right, so you get to work, you got the USB, right? Plugging the USB into your work computer and then access the USB from File Explorer. So down here on Windows 11, the folder, the yellow folder is always a representative of the File Explorer program for Windows 11 or Windows 10 or any Windows operating system. So we're going to open up File Explorer. We're going to navigate to our USB drive. So whatever computer you're on, it may show up as the D drive, E drive, F drive, whatever it may be. We're going to open it up and we're going to look for the TinyTask. And it's right here. We're going to open up the TinyTask. I'm going to go ahead and minimize File Explorer here, but this is how it looks. And you have the ability to record your actions. Remember, TinyTask is used to record your actions on the computer and then play it back for you, right? So let's show you how this works. So we want to record here and you want to play it here. Now, one thing that I want you to realize, that I want you to do some settings. So this like little gear or screwdriver or wrench, this is for your preferences. It's kind of like the settings for TinyTask. So if you click on that, right, you have the options to kind of do some configuration. We're going to do continuous playback. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I want you to realize where it says playback hotkey. So the playback hotkey, that is where you want to be able to stop the playback. So we don't want to make this difficult for you, but you do want to make sure you go into the preferences, go down to playback hotkey, and choose F12. So if you need to stop your recording, hit F12, because that is the setting that you've told TinyTask, I want to stop my playback when I hit F12. So go ahead and make sure you do that, exit out of it. And let's record and show you how this works. So I'm going to hit record, right? It's recording me now. I'm going to open up Word. We're going to type some things here in Word. And then we're going to exit out of it. Don't save. And we're going to stop. Let's watch this in action. All right, so understand that F12, we set it up to where if we are playing something back, right, for us to stop it in mid-playback, it's F12. So we're going to go ahead and play this and show you how this works. So let's go ahead and hit play and watch this. It opens up Word, even in real time. Then it goes up to blank document, and it should start typing. It's actually a pretty neat program. TinyTask, we appreciate you. Thank you. Shout out to TinyTask. Right? And then we stop the recording. Right? But let's say we have Microsoft Teams up and running, right? And we want to loop this, right? To make it seem like we are at our computer, typing something up, doing something, and letting people know who's watching Microsoft Teams that we're in the green because our mouse is moving and we're active at our laptop. So I am on Microsoft Teams. As you see, I am the green right here. And again, Microsoft Teams kind of looks at, what you're doing. If there's no activity, you always peer away. So we want Tiny Task to help us to stay in the available in green by tracking what duties and things we're doing on the computer. And we're going to use it to where it monitors our mouse. So we're going to go ahead and use Tiny Task. We're going to do a recording right now. I'm just moving my mouse around like this, right? I'm just moving around. I'm going to hit record. And I'm going to stop the record, right? So let's play it back. See his mouse moving everywhere? It's just, it's moving around and I stop. What we want to do is make this as a continuous loop, right? So go to your preferences and remember, I set the playback hotkey to be F12. So if I need to stop this, if I need to stop the mouse, this is F12. So we're going to hit back continuous playback, right? Once we select that, hit play. We're just going to continue to do that. Continue to move the mouse around. 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 Right? We're ready to stop it. I'm going to hit F12. What is F12? See it stopped? So, think about this. Now, again, you're going to get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble for this. Again, let's get in trouble together. Right? So, you can use a Tiny Task to just move your mouse around. Record it. Just moving. Right? And then make sure you go into the preferences and settings. Change it to the continuous playback. Right? And then also make sure that for you to stop the playback, the continuous loop playback, choose F12, F8. Those are two, FN keys that you can choose to stop it. And it will stop. And then at that point, when you have the continuous loop back checked, right, go ahead and hit play. It's moving again. Shake and bake. Shake and bake. Now you see me. Now you don't. I'm going to go ahead and hit F12 and it stops, right? So this is something that you can use. Again, hopefully your employer does not have any type of software that monitors what type of external drives or USB drives that you connect to your laptop or your desktop computer at work. But if you are at home and you use a personal computer or a work computer at home and you want to make it seem like, you're still unavailable, download the Tiny Task to your USB, connect the USB to your computer, right? And record yourself just moving the mouse, right? Make sure you choose the continuous loop back. Make sure you make the playback option to be either F8 or F12, an easy FN hotkey for you to press to stop the continuous loop back. And yeah, as this going back and forth with the mouse, it's keeping you in the green on Microsoft Teams. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Share this video with others. We have good computer and technology content here and jokes, bad jokes, funny jokes. We are here to entertain you and teach you to help you become tech savvy. As always, we appreciate you watching. Thank you for watching Tech Support Spy.